great.
Such a beautiful drive. Such a beautiful drive. All the way from Kumasi, an hour and maybe some 20, 30
Were they
minutes.
still praying there?
Oh, yes.
But they do. That's what they do.
That's what it's known for. Yeah, yeah. And there are so many beautiful places in this country, just like Achia.
Prayer camp.
Which makes me wonder, with such a rich vein of beauty and, tourist attractions and culture and music and all of that, why is it difficult to identify in just one or two words who a Ghanaian is? I mean, we can do it for most other cultures, right? I was giving examples. I said, if someone says Japanese, you think, honor, and business. They're good at both. You think of the Germans, you immediately think precision.
Yeah.
You think of the French, you think of romance, cuisine.
It's like romance.
Yeah. The French are known for this, right? Paris is supposed to be like the most romantic city in the world and all of that. So look, it's easy to identify what people of many other nations are known for, what they are good at. Who is the Ghanaian? When you hear Ghanaian, what do you think?
I think we joke with everything.
It's true.
We love
It's
to dance.
absolutely
We love to
true.
dance and sing to everything.
Yes. We are the musical people. It's true though.
The National Reconciliation Commission's report stated this of the Ghanaians. Said Ghanaians have always prided themselves of being loving, kind, hospitable, friendly, generous, and what have you. Whereas these assertions may be true, the unique experience of the NRC has also brought to the fore the very negative attitude of the Ghanaians, some of which are envy, greed, selfishness, and sycophancy, ethnocentrism, lack of sensitivity, cowardice, and others.
You see, so as a people, we have a
Combination of
choice
so many things.
which of these things we will be known for.
Yeah.
So in our daily activity, which ones are we promoting? We say we are hospitable. That thing there, I think we should stop saying it. I think we've just proved beyond a doubt
That we are not.
that we are not. We have a big smile. We have a famous Akwaba, but then it ends there. Our service is terrible.
As for that one, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Customer service is nothing to write home about.
Anyway, we'll be getting into all of that later on the show. Right now, though, let's kick it off with our Drive Safe campaign brought to you by Joy News and the Multimedia Group, supported by Toyota, superior quality, Imperial General Assurance, solid protection. Listen, avoid all distractions. Keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. Be visible. Drive with your lights on. That's how to drive safe. And here's how to say it right, brought to us by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either.
Now that Ghana is going to the IMF, a lot of things are going to change. It will affect us all in different ways. Take the business community, for instance. For them, stability is important. They need to know what's around the corner so they can plan ahead. Now, I wonder whether you noticed my use of today's redundant phrase. Oh, I won't make you guess. It was plan ahead. Now, this, to some, is a bit controversial. Some people think the expression makes sense and should not be considered a redundant phrase. Besides, almost everyone says it, so it can't be wrong, right? Well, it is wrong, and here's why. First, here are some common definitions for the word plan. To make arrangements in advance. A decision about what one is going to do. To create a design for something that is going to be built. In all of these definitions, one thing is constant. A plan is always for something that is yet to happen, something that is ahead. So there really is no need to add the word ahead when you say plan. Now, with your permission, let's get on with the show we've planned for you, shall we? Love that song. All right then, time for the news review brought to us by Enterprise Insurance, Woodye Wumu Motor Promotion, Enterprise, your advantage. And of course, we now know who the INEC has announced as winner of the election in Nigeria. And of course, that is Mr. Bola himself, Bola Tinubu.
The 70-year-old.
Yes. He won. Now, let's very quickly touch base with our colleague Kayla Megwa, who is a broadcast journalist at Channels TV Nigeria. We heard from her yesterday. Let's see if we can get an update on how things have been unfolding. Kayla, good to have you. How is Nigeria responding to the announcement?
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Kayla. Tell us how Nigeria is responding to the announcement.
Well, we woke up. A few of us woke up to the announcement. Some people stayed up all night to hear this particular announcement. Well, it's one of those situations where, we basically are watching to see how it all unfolds. The congratulations to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has been announced as the winner of the 2023 general elections. We did see a lot of people upset about this announcement. I think from yesterday, people kind of knew that this was going to happen, and we saw political parties forming alliances. We saw the ADC, the Labour Party, and of course the People's Democratic Party holding a press conference yesterday before the announcements were made, basically saying that they do not accept these results, calling for the cancellation of the entire process, asking that the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, be removed and an independent person from outside of the commission to come and complete the exercise, insisting that the transmission of results electronically from the polling units to the from the polling units to the BVAS and then to the INEC viewing portal was sacrosanct, stating that this is important, that should have been done, and if that wasn't done, these announcements cannot continue. So that was where we stopped on that yesterday. However, the All Progressives Congress did have their own press conference yesterday as well, and I think at the time when they had it, maybe the feelers had already started coming in that they were probably going to win the contest or so. And we actually saw the All Progressives Congress yesterday speaking up and saying, that part of the Electoral Act that talks about the electronic transmission of results is not actionable by law. That is the argument. So we've got lawyers now debating whether it is actionable by law or if it's not actionable by law. But while all of that is going on, there have been calls for redress. It's most likely that our judicial system, especially the courts that look at electoral matters, they will probably be swamped after this election. We're seeing people already getting ready, getting geared to start these processes, asking for redress in the courts of law. But that's basically where we are right now. We're still mourning. People are still calm and watching to see what happens today. There's celebration in the camp of the All Progressives Congress, and many people with hopes that if Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu comes into office, he is president-elect, if he will be able to keep the promises that he made to the Nigerian people throughout his campaign. One of the feelers that we're getting from the nation really is the fact that there is a need for unity, and that unity is important. The lines on which the Nigerian people have been divided in recent times is scary even. It's unbelievable how many Nigerians have forgotten to put the country first. So we need someone to instill that state of nationhood, that sense of nationhood, that patriotism for the country. And, to get that done and to get people to be on that page with you, some sort of development has to be seen. People have to feel like their country cares about them and their future. Right. So that's one of the major things people are looking out for. Meanwhile, there's security, there's the economy, and all of these things that need to be addressed immediately if the country is going to make any move in the right direction. So those are the feelers that we're getting from around the country right now, Kojo.
Have any of the other candidates conceded, congratulated Tinubu?
Not yet. We're actually watching out for that. Not yet, not to my knowledge at least, but not yet. I checked to see if we would see those kinds of comments coming out from political parties, but no, not yet.
Right.
Not yet.
Now, how unusual is it? This party, APC, has now won a third election in a row. How common is it for a party to retain power beyond the 8-year term of one particular president?
Well, it's not very strange. We had the People's Democratic Party in power for quite a long time. We had Obasanjo and Yaradua and good luck Bella Jonathan. President Muhammadu Buhari came in with the APC and he did 8 years, and then the APC has won the election. It's not very strange. In many ways, incumbency in Nigeria is difficult to break, which is the reason why in 2015, when the elections were held, it was a shocker to the People's Democratic Party that their candidate did not win. That at the time was Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. So incumbency in Nigeria is pretty hard to break, if we're being honest. However, what this election has done, it has opened up the minds of Nigerians to the fact that we're not just running an APC or a PDP government. The Labour Party must be celebrated, really, for the impact that they had in this election, because many people underestimated the Labour Party. Remember, at the time, its candidate, Peter Obi, was a member of the People's Democratic Party. When the primaries for the People's Democratic Party held, and he wasn't given the ticket, Labour Party asked him to come, and they gave him the ticket to run as presidential candidate of the Labour Party. And at the time, many people underestimated him. They thought he wasn't going to make any headway. They thought, his supporters are only on social media. But it has shown beyond a reasonable doubt that it is possible for an election to determine what the thinking of the people on a general scale is. And it brought a lot of young people were interested in this process, made up their minds that they were going to vote in this election and show that they want a change in their country. So it was a very interesting exercise, and this monopoly that we have experienced over the years has been broken officially with this election.
Thank you to you for bringing us up to date. I wish we could talk more. Time is up, though. Maybe we'll catch up a bit later in the day. Kayla Megwa, broadcast journalist from Channels TV Nigeria. Yeah, all right. So that's how it's unfolding.
He won with the lowest votes
margin.
Yes. Since Nigeria returned to electoral politics.
Very close election.
Many also think that the only impact Peter Obi made was to scuttle the chances of the
Atiku Abubakar of the PDP.
Because if you watch the areas he won, the areas that Buhari, Tinubu also won, you could draw a line that, but others are also excited that there's a candidate coming up. And elections and their dynamics may send a difference.
In fact, if you look at the final tally, so Bola got 8.794 million votes. Peter Obi got 6.093 million. Atiku got 6.984 million. So, clearly there's been, it's been done in.
But just from that, you can conclude that Peter Obi didn't only scuttle the chances of Abubakar. He did a lot more than that. See, if he had perhaps, got some, maybe the value of his votes had been just a little bit over the difference between Abubakar and Tinubu.
Yeah.
Then you could say all he did was ruin Abubakar's chances. Okay. But he did more than that. Right?
The difference about 800,000
votes. That is massive. So he has actually emerged, as a contender, and we wonder what that means for the future of politics in Nigeria. Let's get into the papers real quick now.
Now, the Finder is reporting this one: small-scale miners export 22,158 ounces of gold in 2022. Now, the other one is 100 million released to the NIA to clear part of its debt to creditors. And in Parliament, till late, around 8 p.m., the conversation was still happening whether or not the new CI should be allowed to stand the test of time in Parliament. But, it boiled down to one other thing. That's always completely interesting. Trust in the finance minister.
Exactly.
And it became so key that that's basically all that the minority finally were holding on to. That they have absolutely no trust in the man who says he will pay, when he will pay, how he will pay, when there are no assurances on the table beyond his word. So that became a long conversation.
Yeah. And then
finally, they're supposed to have a committee.
No, in fact, and then on the money issue, the $100 million, you remember that along the line, the finance minister said he had paid. And then Ken Atefua came to confirm that in fact they received notice that the money has been released, which means that they can now pay the banks for the 3.5 million cards that has been seized to be released for them to print them. All right, so on the front page of the Daily Statesman, new CI won disenfranchised voters. That's the assurance coming from the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. Abu Jinapo value addition to our natural resources on course, according to him. Yesterday, he spoke to the press. US support press freedom in Ghana. Ghana's economy to rebound to 5% bracket from the 2024 SM. And then last night at Pedu, the president met all the high commissioners and ambassadors, in Ghana. And the assurance from him is that the Exim Bank of China came to Ghana over the weekend. They held talks with government, and the assurance that China appears now to be playing ball, which means that we may get a debt cancellation, and then by the end of March, he's hoping that we'll have an IMF program in place.
Now, the Daily Guide is reporting 6.6 billion from gold, and that's what Ghana is getting. Gang busted for stealing lands commissions, 100 million, and Health Minister dodges Parliament is also on the front page. Ghana card to prevent foreigners from voting is what's also being reported by the Daily Guide.
And the NIB smoke land commission stealing syndicate. This is on the front page of the New Crusading Guide.
100 million.
Exactly. I mean,
cities worth of checks that
yeah,
they diverted.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. So 60 in the cooler for siphoning 100 million Ghana cities. And again, gold brought about $6.6 billion in 2022. That's according to the Lands Minister. Medina NDC politics turns bloody. Constituency chairman warns assaults Sosu's nightmare. And then there's been some, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman himself was under some attack on Monday. The whole office was sacked by people he's yet to identify. He claimed that on his way home the night before, he was chased by some men on motorbike. If not for the intervention of his driver, he may have been killed. That's according. It's unclear where all this is coming from within the NDC.
Okay then, listen, let's get on to it. It's time for the online review brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goil Good Energy. Let me remind you that Zenith Bank allows you to bank the easy way. The easy banking family works when you download the Z Mobile Ghana app or just that by dialing *966#. Okay, you can make transfers, you can top up airtime, pay bills, or pay for goods and services, among other things. Join the easy banking family and experience easy banking with Zenith Bank in your best interest. We're not backing down unless there is force majeure. Deputy EC Chairman is saying that about the CI that we've all been discussing. And of course, details of the Nigerian election are also available on myjoyonline.com. Let's see what's on citynewsroom.com this morning. Approval of ministers designate may be by secret ballot. Joe Wise. Oh, Hadu.
But this will be very interesting. The NDC has a position that they should reject them. Now, here's the case: you have MPs who are friends with some of their nominees, and well, I'll patiently wait to see.
Ballot will mean that
very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
You were expecting 136 rejection, but I can tell you that more of them will vote for some of the nominees.
You remember what happened with how
Yes. Eventually, they got more than even those who were.
I want you to pay attention to every single time that secret ballot has been suggested and implemented by Parliament. Cui bono? Who benefits? Why is it that on certain occasions they're okay with it? But on other occasions, when it might be the one thing that checks the government, they are not.
Exactly.
All right. Bola Ahmed Tinubu elected Nigeria's president as opposition calls for new polls is what CNN is reporting. But we can go for the